All right, man. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. So today, I'm going to be watching a video from 3 years ago, actually. Some guy, I can't remember his name right now, but you'll see it. It'll be in the description. But anyway, he's talking about that. I believe the title is "Did Kendrick Steal from Lupe" or something like that, right? So I'm gonna listen to it, and if I feel as though he's wrong, I'm gonna stop the video and give my take, and also I'm gonna give my opinion on some of the stuff he's saying, because I think this is a fascinating debate that's going around now about Kendrick Lamar and Lupe Fiasco, and I just don't see the comparison. You know what I'm saying? I know people probably do, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. So let's get into the video, and then you know how we do. Yeah, before we get into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Listen, I ain't got no merch to sell, so just subscribe. It's free. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. All right, man. Be right back.
Lupe Fiasco, Kendrick Lamar, steal like an artist. It's all happening.
Static selector.
Lupe Fiasco made headlines this week when he stated that Kendrick Lamar and SZA's cover art for their new song, All of the Stars, which is off the Black Panther soundtrack, was a little too close to the cover art of his next project, Drogas Wave. On Twitter, Fiasco stated, "Even I admit this is a little too close for comfort. Damn, now I guess..."
Bro, nigga, I had to stop it. So let me get this right. Hold up. Let me look at this cover. Nigga, you're trying to say that Kendrick's cover looks a little bit too close to yours? I don't know if y'all seeing the same thing I'm seeing. That's a fucking reach. That is a reach if I never seen one. These album covers look totally different to me. Only thing that is similar is an orange spot. That's it. But come on, bro. Are you kidding me? Hold on. Let me make sure I'm looking at this shit the right way. Let me make sure. This nigga tripping, bro. This nigga Lupe tripping. He tripping. But let's keep it going, man. This is going to be an interesting video. I can see it already.
I gotta get a new album cover. Thanks, Black Panther. A few minutes later, Lou followed with, "No matter how far you go, you will reflect me. All black album covers, backwards albums, ninja. Now this, I'm getting suspiciously delicious."
Okay, let me stop this nigga right here. First of all, nigga, you wasn't the first person to do a backwards album. You wasn't the first person to do that. And you also wasn't the first person to do a black album cover. Plenty of people did black album covers. Even if you was the first to do a black album cover, right? Let's just say you were. Nigga, black is black, nigga. What I don't understand is, you know what? I'm gonna try to calm down because I like Lupe, but that nigga be bugging. He be bugging. And a lot of y'all don't want to call him out on his bullshit, but I'm here for that. Trust me. And I'm gonna call him out. You wasn't the first person to do a backwards album. You wasn't the first person to do a backwards song either. Nas did that. Cannabis did that. Why do you think that you the only one that invent things? Like, bro, you did some things that, listen, nothing is new under the sun. I wish people tell this nigga this. Nothing's new under the sun. Everybody takes from everybody from somewhere, bro. There's inspirations all over. Even in your subconscious, there's inspirations. You act as if you are the only one that's ever did anything that no one's ever did. Come on, man.
Jesus, there's a lot going on here. Let's break it down. That first line, "No matter how far you go, you will reflect me." That's a lyric from SLR 2, Super Lupe Rap 2, which was Lupe's response to Kendrick Lamar's Control verse, which rocked the rap industry in 2013. Lupe also makes reference to all black album covers. Lupe's album Food and Liquor 2, the Great American Rap album, had an all black cover. I guess Lupe is referencing Untitled Unmastered by Kendrick Lamar.
Nigga, get
Looks
the
kinda
fuck
green to me.
out of here,
Backwards
bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get fuck out of here, bro. I ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro. 2 different colors, bro. One was green and one was black, nigga. So now you can't have a green color because if you was to switch it to black and white, it'd be black. Hey, get the fuck out of here, bro. Get that shit the fuck out of here. I'm not trying to hear that. That's some goofy shit, bro. Like, for real.
Albums Damn famously also plays backwards. TDE released a special edition with the songs in reverse order. Lupe's album Tetsuo and Youth came out in 2015. It's broken up by seasons and designed to be played forwards and backwards. Ninja. Lupe's not only been on his ninja-ish since we met him, but he's also a certified black belt. Kendrick broke out the...
You ain't the... Oh my God. Do you... Yo, bro. I hope you're not saying that Lupe was the first artist or the first artist to do anything that has anything to do with samurai's kung fu anything. I know all them album covers back there. I know that's not what you're saying. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Because we all know where that came from. We all know who started that and what the inspiration he got from that. Wu-Tang Clan. We know that. So all this, oh, I was the first samurai. To me, he looks, Kendrick Lamar looks like a totally different type of martial artist than Lupe being a samurai. And so what? He's a black belt. Who gives a shit? Why does that even matter? You know what I'm saying? Who cares? But let's keep going.
Kung Fu Kenny alter ego in the DNA video. It was said to be inspired by Don Cheadle's Kung Fu Kenny character from Rush Hour. Cheadle was also in that video. It's all happening. TDE President Dave Free decided...
Yeah, so so let me get this right. Because you briefly touched on, and that's another thing that Lupe does a lot. He'll briefly touch on something and then say, well, I did it first and I'm the one. Look at me over here. I play Street Fighter 2 and I'm the first person to play Street Fighter 2 as a rapper. That's him. That's Lupe. He thinks he invents everything. Oh, I did it all. Look at me. I'm doing it and everything. Like, get out of here, dog. Stop, bro. Like, obviously, he took this persona from Don Cheadle from the Rush Hour movie. And on top of that, he was in the DNA video. Like, come on, you cannot make this shit up. This is crazy.
To fire back on Twitter, writing at Lupe Fiasco. Go kick and push yourself into a tree with these wild allegations. Lupe pushed back with, I see what you did there. However, it's rather impossible to skate into a tree because most trees are located in grass where skateboards don't actually work well due to the wheels not really being optimal for traversing across such terrain. Now a car or...
Oh, nigga, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Oh, you telling me that there's no trees that you can actually skate on concrete to? Because I can tell you where I'm from, there was plenty of trees that grew through the concrete. Or there was plenty of trees that grew and they surrounded it with concrete. I don't even understand that analogy. I understand what you're trying to say. But then you say, oh, it's almost impossible. Nigga, either it's impossible or it's not, nigga. Simple as that. And you knew what he was trying to say. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Stop with the bullshit.
Most trees are located in grass where skateboards don't actually work well due to the wheels not really being optimal for traversing across such terrain. Now a car or say a well-placed gate, are we sure about that? The Lupe vs. Kendrick debate has been going on for years. There's actually a Genius thread that's been running for 4 years straight arguing who's a better lyricist, Carrera Lou or King Kendrick. And it makes sense. We're talking about 2 of the most important artists in hip-hop history. 2 arguable GOAT.
Is Lupe really that important to hip-hop? I think if Lupe was and I ain't saying this to be funny. I'm not. I'm being dead serious. And all the Lupe fans, I want y'all to understand this. I'm a Lupe fan too, but I'm being 100% honest. If Lupe Fiasco never existed, nobody would care. And that's me being a fan. No one would really care if Lupe never existed. I'm just, as a rapper, not as a person. I just want y'all to understand. I ain't saying he should disappear. I'm saying as a rapper, I truly feel like no one would care if he never was around, because there's so many other artists that's similar or like him in a way, or he's like, that are better than him to me. I just don't see it. And anyway, let's keep it going.
Contenders who both cut through the muck by crafting timeless bodies of work without dumbing down to their eras. We've seen the greatness Kendrick was able to reach by dropping magical concept albums in this singles-heavy era. Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, Damn is arguably the strongest 4-album run ever. I only got Cast and Kanye in the conversation. No hyperbole. And honestly, considering the battered state of the music industry in 2006, rampant label consolidation, profits dropped lower than Nicki Minaj, piracy was at an all-time high, and monetized streaming didn't yet exist, it's a miracle Lupe even found a lane, especially as a wordsmith not from the 1990s. Check this out. Billboard's top songs of 2006 consisted of Lil Jon's Snap Your Fingers, Lean With It, Rock With It, Bottom Franchise Boys, Nelly's Grills. Complex Rhymes no longer held center stage in 06. It was all about snapping and trapping.
Okay, but see, look, this is what I don't like about a lot of these people who do stuff like this when they bring these things up. First of all, streaming wasn't as big as it is today. That's number one. Number two, if you putting out this type of records, you already know that is what people wanted to listen to at the time. You know what I'm saying? Lupe and whoever else at the time, people really didn't want to hear that. And I'm not saying that he couldn't have had made it, but people didn't. You know what I'm saying? He came later on. So I get the point you're making, but at the same time, you can't really fault the people on that list for that, because that's just what it was at that time. That's what it was. Hip hop it's always evolving into something else, whether it's whatever, but it always takes precedence. Popular music always takes precedence. So even if he's super lyrical and if it's popular, that's what people want to hear. That's going to take precedence over anything else. That's just how it goes. People, we all know this was only 3 years ago. So people not that, but what he's saying, what he came up with this and he brought that up. That was 2005, but this video was 3 years ago. What I'm trying to say is, if he is saying that in 2005, that's what people wanted to listen to because it was snap music, because people brains didn't want to hear complex raps. You saying, oh, it's a miracle he made it through. Well, I could say, yeah, he made it through. Yeah, of course he made it through. But he had a subsection of fans. It wasn't like, oh, he made it through and he was number 2 or number 3. He didn't even probably make the top 10. So how can you have an argument for that? He didn't even make the top 10. How can you have an argument for it? You could just say, oh, yeah, it's a miracle he made it through. Okay, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, the top 10 is what people wanted to hear.
In your white t-shirt. In the mid-2000s, it felt like everybody was getting shelved, especially the lyricists. Here's XXL's first freshman cover ever. It's an annual indicator of the newest artists to watch. No shot at anyone, but take a look at the lyricists on...
But look, and it's another thing I don't like about these people who do these things. You know exactly why. You know why. Listen, bro, I'm gonna give y'all the game that a lot of these podcasters and a lot of these people will not say. It's about money. That's all it's about. They don't care about lyricism. They don't care how good you are. It's all about what you can make, how much you can make. That's why Kendrick Lamar is so special, because he can play that line of being a great lyricist and sell records. Trust and believe. That's what it's all about. He's acting like this is like, oh, well, it was a plot to get rid of them. He wasn't making no money and nobody wanted to hear it. What do you want them to do? If these record labels, and I'm not taking up for the record labels, I'm just saying, if you're trying to make money, what are you going to do? You're going to keep employing these people who are not getting no money, no record sales, no streams, no nothing, you're going to keep on employing them. That's what you're going to keep doing? But it ain't bringing you no revenue to your company. This is what they don't tell you. They make it seem like they just shitting on the artist. No, they're not marketable. Some of these people don't know how to make a record. They just know how to rap really well. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And in the case of Lupe, he could make records. He know how to rap very well. But at the same time, he's an acquired taste. People don't really want to hear all that all the time. Nobody wants to think all the time. And what I mean by that is nobody wants to think about what you're saying all the time. Sometimes people want you to give it to them straightforward. Sometimes people want to think. But everybody don't want to always think about what you're saying. I know it sounds crazy, but people are lazy listeners. That's just what it is. They're lazy listeners. A good portion of people want you to give it to them straight. I guess that's what makes you special. But at the same time, my nigga, you have to realize that, hey, if you're too complex, you're going to go 50 years by being super complex and people going like, I used to listen to him, but it's just mentally draining. That's what they're going to say.
This list: Saigon, Joell Ortiz, Lupe Fiasco, Crooked Eye, Papoose. 4 of the 5 of them got shelved, missing their commercial primes. Pap signed a job for 1 point.
Like, and then you use the word commercial. So you basically pushing for them to dumb down their lyrics for them to be marketable. But they're not. They're not marketable. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people, they're too aggressive. They don't know how to soothe the audience ears. They don't. Papoose definitely don't. He's an acquired taste. He's a super lyricist, but nobody wants to hear everything he says. He can't make an album where people could say, yeah, I can relate to that song. I really like that because he's talking something that I can understand. He's a rapper's rapper. That's it.
$5 million. He got dropped. Narsarima Dream arrived 6 years later. Joell Ortiz released Bodega Chronicles on Koch.
Like, look, come on, bro. Nobody wants to hear Bodega Chronicles, bro. Why? Why do you even call it that? I wouldn't even listen to it because it's called Bodega Chronicles. And I'm from the hood. I don't want to hear it. And the album cover looks corny. I'm just being real. This is how people think. Some people, they real fickle. They won't even listen to something because of how you look. And it just looks corny. You know what I'm saying? I'm being straight. I love Joell Ortiz. I think he's super fire. I really do. But he's not appealing. He's not. He's appealing to the rappers. The rapper. It's like going to a battle rap event. And everybody there is battle rappers. The whole crowd is battle rappers. Of course you're going to be fired to them.
Dr. Dre, shelved. He left that label in 08. Crooked Eye was locked in legal hell with Death Row. Never released a project with them. Saigon.
Now, Crooked Eye, another one. I think he's a little bit different. And I think Crooked Eye, I think his contract was what got him because he can make music. I heard a lot of his music. He's pretty good. Saigon, some of these people wasn't even going to make it off the porch. I don't care how good they are. They just wasn't going to make it. It's hundreds of rappers, thousands, millions of rappers. Some of these people just not going to make it.
Sat with a potential classic in hand, the greatest story ever told, while playing a recurring character on Entourage. Even TV couldn't get that project released. Again, 4 out of the 5 lyricists on the first XXL freshman cover got shelved. That's how difficult it was to be a lyricist in the mid-2000s.
It wasn't that they were difficult. It wasn't that it was so difficult and that's why they got shelved. No, they got shelved because they didn't know how to make songs that appeal to everybody and be a lyricist. Kendrick knew how to do that. Obviously Kendrick came after this, but Kendrick knew how to do that. They didn't know how to do it. They just thought that going into this, rapping the way they rap, everybody was going to like it. It only takes you so far. Being a great lyricist only takes you so far. You have to have the total package. You can't just be a great lyricist. That's it. It's a lot of great lyricists. We could go down a list of people who are just great lyricists and didn't go nowhere. They didn't go anywhere.
You could be one of the most anticipated lyrical monsters of the era and still not be able to release music. Jesus.
It wasn't like they wasn't be able to release music. Only one was Crooked Eye. He was the only one that couldn't really release music. But they in this point, they could have did a bunch of mixtapes. A lot of them were lazy. They didn't do nothing. Papoose might have did some things, and Crooked Eye and Joel did some things. But they, of course, Crooked Eye, Joel, I think in 2010 and all of that, they did Slaughterhouse and all that. You know what I'm saying? A little bit later on. But they could have released mixtapes. They could have did things like that. But they didn't. They didn't. A lot of them didn't have a great work ethic. They didn't have a great work ethic. They just thought that whatever they had was classic. And as a rapper and as an artist, you gotta keep it moving. You gotta keep moving. You can't just do one or two things and then think everybody's gonna flock to you. Now you gotta do all that. And some and more.
And there's Wasulu Jaco, the spectacle-wearing kid from the Shy Cuff and Kanye production and Jay-Z cosigns, talking about all the world's ills from a third-person perspective. To be fair, Lupe would also run into his own label conundrum with Lasers, but at least he was able to drop back-to-back classics in his prime. Food and Liquor and The Cool had the whole world checking for the kid. Fader magazine.
Bro, the whole world was not checking for Lupe, bro. You gotta stop this, bro. You niggas gotta stop. The whole world wasn't checking for Lupe. You know what I'm saying? The whole world. No. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I've been a fan of this dude from the beginning. And I'm just being straight. The whole world wasn't checking for him, bro. Let's be clear. Maybe some people around here, maybe some people, but the whole world, no. No. Not rolling. I'm not rolling. Sorry.
Placed the still largely unknown MC on its cover, dubbing him hip-hop whiz kid. Vibe ranked Kick Push the 16th best song in his top 60 songs of 2006. Nas told XXL in April 2007, one of the young cats, Lupe Fiasco, I'll listen to anything he do. One page later, British soul singer Josh Stone said, and you know what, Lupe, I'm feeling him. Jimmy Rollins, John Singleton, Bun B, Bob Saget, Carrera Lou's cosigns rolled in like an oncoming earthquake.
All that doesn't mean any. That's a bunch of people that probably was paid by the record label to say certain things. Like, come on, bro. You know better than this. You know better. Some of that stuff could have just been people just talking because they asked them a question. You're not even giving the whole context. You're just basically saying that that's what they said. Somebody could have said, well, what rapper you think is good out of these people? Lupe Fiasco, Joel Ortiz, or what's his name? Or Crooked Eye. And then they probably be like, well, I don't know the other two guys, but that other guy, Lupe, yeah, I would listen to anything he say. Like, come on, you got to provide the context of what it was said. You can't just say, oh, well, all these people said that he was great out of nowhere. They had to have a conversation about the man. Like, come on. And then, again, I'm not saying he's not great. I'm just keeping it. I'm just playing devil's advocate right now. Because I think a lot of y'all need to hear this.
Hipsters championed him, trap stars respected him, his record label Atlantic, it seemed like they fully supported him at the time. East Coast, West Coast, Dirty South, from 2006
y'all gotta really pay attention to how they talk. He bigging him up, and then at the same time, he's trying to bypass certain things. His record label seemed like they were bigging him up at the time. That means that they wasn't.
2008, there was a consensus arguably unseen since Nas went to hell for snuffing Jesus, a place very similar to where Kendrick Lamar was after Good Kid Mad City hit the earth like a comet invasion. Lupe really is a pioneer.
He wrote this down. This is something he wrote and he's just reciting. It's kind of like I get what he's doing. And I like it. I'm not saying, I'm not hating on it. I like it. It's kind of like he's doing poetry by talking about what's really going on in between the artists. And I think that's pretty dope. I think that's pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie.
He was super early on so many things that were later deemed cool. He was skateboarding before Lil Wayne. He was on the streetwear scene wild early, on all Japanese everything before just about everybody else. He was one of the first blog stars.
Oh, bro. Now you're tripping, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. Stop, bro. Stop with the he was the first this. You niggas acting like Lupe Fiasco created the bread slicer. Like he was the first person to slice bread. The first person to do anything ever. The first person to come up with the wheel. That's what I feel like this is exactly what you're saying. We all know Wu-Tang, whatever Japanese, Chinese, anything Mandarin, anything from Asia, anything on that side. We all know that came from Wu-Tang Clan for the most part. We know that. Shaolin Island, all that shit, nigga. We know it. So when you say he was the first to do anything that had anything to do with the Chinese or Japanese or anything, that's bullshit. 100%. And he had to get his inspiration from them niggas because they been doing that. They been doing it. So all this, oh, he was the first to do the manga Japanese shit. No, nigga. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not. And don't try to be Pacific and say, well, Wu-Tang did Chinese and he did Japanese. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. He got that from them. That's it. 100%, bro. And he might not got it from them directly, but I'm sure he's seen it. He can't act like he didn't. And the skateboarding shit, who cares? You acting as if everybody in hip-hop skateboards. There's only 2 artists that really skateboarded. That was Lil Wayne and him. It wasn't like, oh shit, the whole hip-hop is skateboarding because of Lupe. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Stop with the goofy
break
shit.
Into the mainstream. I spoke with his manager, Chili, in 2016. Here's how he described how Lupe built his initial buzz back in 2003.
Lou the first internet child, because when the internet popped, 2003, he was the hottest dude on MySpace. I went out and I got a publicist and I told her to concentrate more on this online shit versus this radio. He was the first internet baby. I used to always tell him,
you niggas is wild, bro, for that one. He was the first internet baby? Oh my God, you niggas is wild for that. Y'all wild for that. There's plenty of artists that came before him that was telling people that the internet was where it was at. And I would argue that it was cannabis was first. And I probably would argue that it was Joe Buttons. I remember Joe Buttons with the internet soldiers and all that. I remember that. And MySpace was so long ago. You know what I'm saying? For you to say, oh, in the MySpace, he was doing this thing. There was a lot of people doing their thing on MySpace, and nobody really knew who Lupe Fiasco was. Cut the bullshit. Cut the bullshit.
Quality over quantity. Fuck trying to put 1,000 mixtapes out. Put solid mixtapes out that'll last, because Lou remind me of Biggie. Biggie didn't never can. You can listen to his record a year later, you can pick up something.
This nigga just literally said that Lupe reminded him of Biggie. That's just a talking point. That's a talking point. Ain't no way in the world you trying to say that. There's no way in the world you could try to say that Lupe maybe to you, but to me, hell no. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. To me, they're two totally different rappers from totally different worlds. Don't even do nothing the same at all. I don't see how you can even correlate the two. That's crazy for you to even say.
That's Lou. Every time you go away from a Lou record and you come back to it, you feel Lou because you get where this nigga coming from. Niggas always tell Lou, man, you number down, fuck with anything, nigga. Do you? His mixtape was so solid. I listened to one of them the other day. I'm like, yo, this nigga, this shit 15 years old. This shit cracking. We didn't waste time with the production or even if you use somebody else's shit. The way we took our time mixing it. Everything was a craft. The nigga just mastered the shit. And so that's why his mixtapes are so crazy. But he was the first internet baby.
First internet baby. The point is this, I don't have an example of any truly great artist that hasn't influenced a generation. Lupe absolutely has. Kendrick's doing that right now.
Oh my God, bro. You niggas, yo, this is nuts. This is nuts. You don't have an example of any artist that truly inspired a whole generation, but Lupe has? Oh my God, bro. This is crazy talk, bro. I cannot believe that this dude just said that. Maybe he's saying that, and maybe he's gonna say something else. Maybe he's quoting it from somebody else. I don't understand that.
The point is this, I don't have an example of any truly great artist that hasn't influenced a generation. Lupe absolutely has. Kendrick's doing that right now.
Okay, all right, I get what he's saying. So he's saying he doesn't have an example of any great artist that hasn't. So I get what he's saying. My apologies. I get exactly what he's saying. He's not saying that nobody ever influenced anybody. I get exactly what he's saying. He's basically saying like Lupe did it, Nas did it, Biggie did it. All these people, they inspired a generation, and Kendrick is doing it too.
Don't have an example of any truly great artist that hasn't been accused of biting. Jay-Z spent most of his career being accused of biting Biggie's rhymes. Thanks, Cam. He's always addressed it, though. He's big enough to do it. In 2011, Beyonce was accused of stealing dance moves from Anne Teresa de Keersmacher. Who rocked it better? Check this article on BBC America. Did Shakespeare really write his plays? A few theories explained. There's a bunch of arguments that the bard didn't write his own ish. And maybe that makes sense. There's a great book called Steal Like an Artist. The book talks about how so-called original thinkers and creators are simply people who effectively learn to remix other people's materials. Originality isn't about doing what's never been done in a strict sense, but it's about the unique way in which each individual gives expression to his or her artistic influences. I'll be honest, I see a lot of Lupe Fiasco in all these things that have become lyrically successful since he's arrived. When I saw Lupe Fiasco win a—
Man, you niggas is bugging, bro. Bro, I like this guy, but I think that he's looking at it from the lens of Lupe and saying that because you're lyrically successful now, you're saying that Lupe, you hear it came from Lupe? Like, bro, there's plenty of rappers who were lyrically successful, you know what I'm saying, before Lupe. And I would say people got their stuff from, or kind of like, I ain't gonna say bite, but I'm gonna say they influence a lot of people, bro. You should know this, but way before Lupe. You acting as if like this guy is the one who started it all. I'm sure you got Nas on your wall. I'm sure you heard of Rakim. I'm sure. And these dudes are lyrical. I'm sure you heard of Cannabis. I'm sure you heard of Black Thought. I'm sure you heard of Mos Def. I'm sure you heard of Talib Kweli. I'm sure you heard of Common. I'm sure you heard of all these people who were doing lyrics, who were rapping lyrically. Razcast, E40. I'm sure. So he's a different type of lyricist? What are you trying to say? I don't understand how y'all could put all this ownership on this guy as if people didn't do this before him and better.
Grammy for Daydreaming, a complicated song about a project building that turns into a robot. It amazed me, just like it amazed me when Kendrick...
Okay. He has a vivid imagination. Okay. What does that mean? Like, bro, this is what I mean. Like, a lot of y'all would say that Lupe Fiasco is a super lyricist. He's a great lyricist. He's the best lyricist. No one's better than him because he raps about shit that nobody cares about. Who gives a fuck about daydreaming about you becoming a project building in the hood? Why would I care about that? Why? To some people, that might be super fire. But to me, I don't give a fuck about you rapping about you becoming a project building. Why do I care? Oh yeah, well, artistically and lyrically, he did some things in that. You just gotta look at it from the point of view And just imagine. What I'm saying to you is, I like lyricism and I like that song, but it does nothing. It's just creative. That's it. It does nothing. Nothing.
Lamar released Swimming Pools Drink, an anti-drinking song that literally had everybody turned. Or when I see he...
Now that's different. That's different because this is why I say Kendrick is better than Lupe, right? And, oh, I know I'm going to get some flack for this, but so what? This is why I say, if you listen to Daydreaming and you listen to Swimming Pools, right? One of those songs, if you listen to the whole album, is created around a situation, and it's the reason why. But his subconscious is telling him not to do something because it's going to get him in trouble. But the way it comes off as if he's telling people to do it. But he's really not. He's telling them not to do it. Versus Daydream. A rap about a guy who's daydreaming about a project building becoming a giant robot. What? Like, okay, so are we going to say which one is better conceptually? I'm going to go with Swimming Pools all day. If we're going to say which one means something in life, I'm going to go with Swimming Pools all day. If you're going to say which one I can apply to in my everyday life or something that will move people and change people's life, I'm going with Swimming Pool. I'm not going to go with some idea that some guy drawn up in his head because he was sitting there looking at the clouds daydreaming about some project building becoming a robot. What the fuck? How are we going to even compare the two? If you want to say, okay, imagination-wise, or he has a vivid imagination, yeah, you could do that. That's cool. That's cool. But at the same time, like, really? Like, come on, bro. I know you got a vivid imagination, but come on, bro. Water is wet. That's all I'm saying, bro. And is it really wet? I don't know, man.
Humble or DNA, two trap songs that make you want to be a better person. Supreme Outlier. When I think about Lupe Fiasco running incredible extended metaphors, personifying all the world's ills from the perspective of a cheeseburger like he does on Gotta Eat, or blackberries and Hennessy like he does on Twilight Zone.
Okay, so Double Burger with Cheese. We all know what the song is about. You know what I'm saying? About black movies or whatever. And he's basically saying, when Kane was in the drive-thru, he said he wanted a double burger with cheese. And the boy jumped in the car and put the gun to him and said, yo, give me a double burger with cheese. Well, I think it was Kane who jumped in the car and said, give me a double burger with cheese. And he said, do you remember basically all the black movies? I understand. I get it. And that song is one of my favorite Lupe songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, bro, come on, bro. Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm hard to impress. Maybe I'm a little hard on Lupe. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. I don't know. But some of the stuff that y'all be thinking he coming up with, I just don't see it as groundbreaking. Like, I'm like, okay, this is okay. Like, it's okay. Oh, he has a long running metaphor where he talks about something that went on for the whole song. And I'm like, so what? So what? Why does that move me? Because he had a long running metaphor. So, like, okay. What does that do? That just tells me that he can write a long running metaphor. But is that long running metaphor going to change the way I think about something? Probably not.
It reminds me of Nas's I Gave You Power, which is from the perspective of a gun. And that song reminds me of Pharoah Monch's Stray Bullet, where he raps from the perspective of a bullet. Even the open-ended approach to this show's storytelling is directly derived from Lupe Fiasco's open-ended style of storytelling on the song The Cool, to ignite thought, put something...
I just don't understand. I don't understand, but... I mean, I do understand, but I don't know. Some stuff these guys be saying, man. I just think that, and you know what? I gotta give these people credit. I gotta give them credit. I'm not gonna say and lie. You know what I'm saying? This is a lot of hard work to do. And I'm sure he put a lot of work into this video. So I'm not going to shit on this video. Some of the stuff I just disagree with.
On their minds, give them lines to remember. That's what's at the core of the breakdown, and even Murs has kind of kept that open-ended approach as he hosts that show on Hip Hop DX. So now there's 2 video shows that are directly derived from Lupe Fiasco's open-ended approach to storytelling. At what
You see
point?
what I mean? Like this, and that's what gets me mad. It's like, if something is brief or slightly similar to something that Lupe did, then they fully give him the credit for it. Open-ended storytelling didn't start with Lupe. People been doing that for a long time, bro. So you can literally say you got it from somebody else. Because if you got it from him, and I guess that's what your argument is. You're saying that you guys got it from him, but he also got it from somebody else. So maybe if that's your argument, if that is, then I apologize for coming down on you a little bit too hard. But at the same time, if that's not your argument, then fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at, you just sound crazy to me.
It's simply inspiring greatness, inspiring others to improve on the design, to carry on tradition awesome enough. Is there not something noble in that? Or does everything always come back to receiving credit? I don't have the answer to these questions.
Static selector.
So I guess the whole point of that video was he was asking questions about it. And to be fair, that was a great video. You know, I might have gave him some pushback on some things, but it was a great video. You know what I'm saying? He put it together very well. He broke down some things that he believed with his what? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, me personally, I don't think Lupe and Fiasco and Kendrick Lamar isn't even in the same category. I don't put Lupe and Kendrick in the same category. I put Lupe in a totally different category than Kendrick. And in my head, when it comes to, okay, overall in hip hop, yeah, they're in the same category. But when it comes to backpacking and all that, yeah, I'm putting Lupe over there. But at the same time, I could put Kendrick over there too, because he could do exactly what they do. I don't think Lupe can do what Kendrick do. I don't think he can. He had enough time to do it and he didn't. That's that. He had enough time to do any and everything he thought he could do. Kendrick outshined, I ain't gonna say outshine because that's not fair. He outdid all his contemporaries in every category. If we're gonna use the lyrical argument about anything, then you can't really use that argument in my opinion. You can't. Everybody has a different interpretation of lyrics. Everybody has a different interpretation. It's like reading the Bible or reading a book, reading the Quran or whatever. Some things are totally different when you read it than when somebody else read it. Just using that as an example. So just because you can put things together really nicely in a certain way, you might be really good at that. But to me, that's not the only thing that makes you a great lyricist. I think Lupe is his own artist in his own right. But I also think that Lupe thinks that he's better than Kendrick. And then you're supposed to think that you're better than somebody. But the consensus is you're not better than Kendrick. That's just it. You're not. Because you might get Kendrick and you might could get him in a certain category. You might. But he's going to get you in every other one of those. So you're going to lose in every other category. That's just that. And on top of that, we don't know how deep Kendrick Lamar goes when it comes to certain things. We know that Kendrick can do, if Kendrick wanted to rap lyrically and be super lyrical, I am 100% sure that he could do it. 100% sure. I just think that he has a particular way about going about things. I'm sure everything Lupe does when it comes to being intricate, lyrical, anything you can think of, I am 100% sure that Kendrick can match the same energy, because these guys are rappers and they also are writers, both of them. So you can't act as if one is so much more superior than the other. Because we thought that, a lot of y'all thought, not we, but a lot of y'all thought that if he battled Drake, what was going to happen? Oh, he was going to get killed. Drake is going to smoke him. Oh, my God. And look what happened. And I ain't saying Lupe and Drake is in the same category, but Lupe did say that Drake rapped better than Kendrick. And that's 100% false. And he knows that. I think Drake raps better than Kendrick. Okay, bro. I turned the fucking podcast off as soon as I heard that. Get the fuck out of here. You know that you know that you fucking capping. But either way, man. All right, man. I ain't mean for this joint to be that long, but it is what it is. All right, man. Hey, man, make sure you guys like and share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, man. See y'all, bye. I'm out of here.